You know, I try to stay positive, but after let's call it what it is, a horrible week, Friday came, and I don't know, something happened. I wouldn't say a snap, but I just had enough. And as soon as I got off work, didn't even come home. Just hit the road. Ended up 30 miles beside of town, and figured I was going to see where I could go, see where I ended up. I had a few ideas of where I wanted to go, and ended up getting a hotel room. And then, just on a whim, I never spend money like that. We're budgeted. And thought I was going to go to a place about 2 hours away that I was supposed to have a table at for a flea market, but it didn't work out. And I forgot to go down there, so I skipped free comic book day. Yes, I did. And my plan is that this flea market was bound to have comics. Everybody who was probably buying comics would be at comic book shops today, so there should be zero competition. And it paid off. I was right. I saw maybe, seriously, three other people looking around for comics and stuff, and I think they weren't really comic book collectors. They were at a flea market and were like, ooh, comics. And as I made a stack and stuff of stuff I was finding, usually when I shop, I just make a stack and then I whittle it down for what I'm actually going to buy. Little kids were running up trying to grab Thor comics and stuff like that, and I was sitting here thinking, watch your kids, man. And one guy apologized, and that was it. But I mean, I'm pretty nice, no big deal. So enough of it really paid off because the stuff I found is like things that I specifically, collect and make videos on and talk to Constant Bromstar about and push on other people and talk to Steve Ogden about and stuff like that. So without further ado, I'm going to show you the Barbaric haul today. So here we go. Excuse me while I move the camera. Alrighty. Right off the bat that I found today, I got this for 25% off what the lady was selling it for. This is Avengers 71, and this is an infamous issue because it has Jeff Johns writing, Steven Sadowski writing. They at the time they were sorry about that. They were the JSA team for the book, and this came out around 2003. And what's significant about this book is that it is infamous because it starts out in Las Vegas, and what it is, it's Hank Pym and Jan getting back together, and it has the scene of Jan, oh, I got a cold, sorry guys. But anyway, you get a bunch of oohs and ahs, and then you look real close in that bottom middle panel, and that is Hank Pym crawling up a wasp telling her it's her turn, and he's all sweaty and stuff. Caused quite the rage when it came out. Another thing I found, got this for less than $1, which I'm very proud of, is Marvel 2-in-1 presents Thing and Doc Savage. Talked to Steve Ogden about Doc Savage. He told me a little bit more about the Man of Bronze, and he finally got my attention. I've heard about him for years. So it's kind of cool to see the two orange-skinned behemoths together, if you will. And these are upgrades. These are the Whitman Flash movie adaptions, number 32 and number 33. This one is mint. I mean, I don't see a flaw on it. Al Williamson art. Pages are still creamy inside. It just blows my mind. This is from 1980. And there's number 33, part 2 and 3. So I think I've got probably like about 9 of these now. Total, take parts 1, 2, and 3, and in the combination I got about 9 of these books. Alright, this really surprised me. Yes, it's from Awesome Entertainment. It's a Rob Liefeld company. It's Rob Liefeld characters. But it's called Judgment Day Aftermath. And it's by Alan Moore and Gil Kane. And I think this thing is a little bit of a tribute to Gil Kane. So I could not pass up Alan Moore and Gil Kane working together. I'm not really complaining because I got a good deal on all this stuff, but after I got it out, it seems like there was 4 or 5 comics that were missing from the stack I made. I made a stack, and the lady said that she would hold it behind the counter for me because kids were coming around, and little kids and stuff were getting all grabby and stuff. And I thought I put this back, but it's all good. It's all good. It's an untold tale of the crisis on Infinite Earths. It's got a little bit of a Flash story in there. Has a Justice League Detroit story by John Ostrander, where it kind of plays with the time travel and stuff. And Val Zemeckis did the artwork. And let me tell you something. He really outdid himself because I mean, he put some Crisis on Infinite Earths in there. I mean, just did an excellent job. This thing feels like it gets just seamlessly, you know, fit right in as an untold chapter. There's Swamp Thing's arm, which cracks me up. So this ended up being a happy accident because I was not going to buy it. But it's got the Red Skies, the Shadow Demons. I've read Crisis on the Infinite Earth so much, I know exactly where each chapter holds in. That's where time travel, all time starts happening at once on the Earth because of the crisis. Just a really good accident. I just needed this to get I had parts 1, 2, and 3 of Generation Next from the Age of Apocalypse. So I finally got part 4. And, you know, these Grant Morrison, Tony Daniel on Batman. This is number 677, Rest in Peace. I'm finding these Grant Morrison Batmans, you know, left and right here lately, filling up the holes in my collection easily. And like I said, I had another stack where 4 or 5 issues were missing. I know I bought the second one of this. But apparently Scott Collins got together and did his own Blackest Night. Now, I'm real close to having, I have to be close to having almost all the Blackest Night crossovers. But this is part 1 in this Bizarro and Man-Bat story. Not Superman and Batman. Look real close at the logo there. It's Man-Bat and Bizarro. And Solomon Grundy is brought back. So, and this shows the agent, you know, from the Blackest Night actual series. It's got a scene in there where, you know, Frankenstein, Agent of Shade, more or less is the one that killed Grundy, and he comes back with the ring. Cannot wait to read it, but there's a second part, number 67, and I cannot believe it's not in there. Now, you Deadpool fans, that's right, I said Deadpool fans. This is the Superman Batman Annual number 1 by Joe Kelly, Ed McGuinness, and a few other people. And this is a reimaginary story. Now, I've heard about this for years, but from what I recall, and I may do a review later if I'm wrong, this is a retelling or a reimaginary story of the first time Batman and Superman in their younger days ran across the crime syndicate of Earth 3, Ultraman and Owlman, and Deathstroke pops up. But what is significant about this is this character here is where the joke came out that Deadpool is actually the Earth 3 version of Deathstroke the Terminator. And to me, I've always thought that Deathstroke was nothing but the ambush bug. But it's kind of cool because Ed McGuinness and Joe Kelly, I think, and scratch that. Ed McGuinness worked on the Deadpool series that helped really make him take off. I want to say it was Joe Kelly that worked on him. But I'll give you there he is. The Earth 3 guys come out, and there he is. That is Deadpool. You know, tongue-in-cheek. And he actually meets Deathstroke, and they kind of compare themselves to each other. Got this for $1. It's a 1989 trade of the Days of Future Past, the classic 1980 tale. That's going to be significant to the new X-Men movie coming out. 141 and 142 inside. But I just thought it was kind of cool to have that in trade. And then, $1 a piece for these. Jack Kirby Collector, 68 pages dating back to 1998. Absolutely love these. You get people just they show you know, if you haven't read a Jack Kirby Collector, it goes back and it shows unfinished art. It shows characters and sketches that Kirby had. It shows original panels, original pages. Has tons of interviews. And it talks just fascinating reads. Interviews with Gil Kane, Bruce Timm. And of course, Jack Kirby was a huge influence on Bruce Timm when it comes to the Batman cartoons and his, you know, Justice Superman cartoons and the Justice League cartoons. And he actually Bruce Timm was actually kind of brokenhearted because as the younger artists and animators came in, they didn't know who Jack Kirby was, and he actually had to pay them and provide them and pay them time to read Jack Kirby stuff, and they all fell in love. But these are just amazing. Jack Kirby did it all. Look at this. Just soak that in for a minute before I turn the page. Soak that in. These things are just never know what you're going to find in them. And I think that's the Midnight Swan who turned into one of the main villainesses in Kirby Genesis by Kurt Busiek and Alex Ross. Um, Dave Stevens is in here. Goes back to his stuff from the 40s. Original screenplay for A Captain Victory. Just great stuff. True Life Divorce. I mean, Kirby did it all. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at this. Kirby inked by Mike Mignola. Mike Mignola probably thought he realized he probably finally made it. Oh, this is such good stuff. You know, and this is the kind of stuff you get in black and white. Just tons of Kirby goodness. Oh, Joe Simon, Jack Kirby, Joe Severin, Stuntman, Sandman, Captain America. No idea who that is, but it looks cool. Hillbillies and bows and arrows. Kind of cool. Look at that. Oh, how could I not get this? Steve Rude, Mike Mignola in this one. Fantastic Four number 49 original pencils. Special features on Darkseid, Red Skull, Doctor Doom, Atlas Monsters, Yellow Claws. Sounds like it's an all-villain special. The villains. I just noticed that. They all have titles on them. Issue spotlights Simon and Kirby. Issues of Kirby spotlight on the villains. Awesome. And I'm a bad guy. I love her. Oh, look at this. Look at that. Best wishes, Jack Kirby. Oh, love this stuff. And continuing with Fantastic Four number 49 featuring Silver Surfer apparently is a big deal. Metron. Oh, I love these things. And here's a very special issue because on this side we have a huge interview with all these creators reminiscing about Kirby. And I flipped through them. They all have to name their favorite Kirby work and everything and what they remember about him and how they influenced them or how they influenced comics. Kurt Busiek, Steve Englehart, Neil Gaiman, Ron Garney, Dave Gibbons, Tony Isabella, Dan Jurgens, Mike Kaluta, Eric Larson, Fabian Nacinza, yeah, John Ostrander, Brian Paluto, Joe Quesada, Dave Sim, Jeff Smith, Roger Stern, John Totobon, Jim Valentino, Rich Vetch, Charles Vest, Mark Waid, Barry Winslow Smith, Marv Wolfman, and much more. And you'll kind of be a little bit surprised on what Neil Gaiman names as his favorite Kirby work. And before we move on, since you're with me, check out this huge, very cool poster in here. They actually are having a contest in the next issue, and I don't have the next issue that names everybody, but they made a collage of anywhere between, I think there's between 193 and 200 of Kirby's creations. And the contest is to name them all. Now, what caught my eye, let me let you soak that in for a minute, if I can get it all on the screen. This pulls out, I'm actually thinking about doing it. What caught my eye, my favorite part, right there, that is Commandy. And he looks like he's going nuts because he has Orion and Hulk screaming in his ear. Somebody had a sense of humor. It cracks me up. And then I about fell down when I found these. They've had a ton of these. I had to pick and choose. Man. Oh. But I got this one because it's the iconic. Oh, I had it right here. It's the iconic cover that I've always looked for. I've actually looked for this issue for a while because this is what they use for the Heavy Metal movie. I cannot wait to get into that. It's got the Thunder Chicken in it. The best of heavy metal from 77 to 79. If you want to check out heavy metal, find this. Mobius, Richard Corbin, Arthur Pseudonym. And I'm looked up because there's two, three stories in here. I actually got the original heavy metal issues in. This is the way to go if you want to check out heavy metal. Oh my gosh. And then I got the best of Mobius. Heavy metal, I didn't even know this existed. Heavy Metal put out a best of Mobius. And I think this is from 80, 81 maybe. So this is some of the, his great stuff. And I'll show you some pictures, but there's boobies in it. And then, yes, Marvel Treasury Edition. Conan the Barbarian, Marvel Treasury Edition number 4 from 1975. Reprinting some of the classic tales of Conan. This one's by Roy Thomas and Barry Winslow Smith. Number 15 from 1977. Retells some Barry Winslow Smith stories. I think John Buscema now comes in there we get to see in color the first appearance of Red Sonja and their adventures together when they first met. Just great stuff. Number 23, first time in color, coming in on the Cross. This is the one as a kid. I'm gonna take this one out. These two issues here that you're seeing there, and the one that I'm unbagging here, are the two that when I was 7 and 8 years old, I would just sit there and I would just study this picture and read this story. That's the back cover. I mean, I would look at just how, I would just stare at that. I mean, literally for hours. Just stare at this whole painting. You know, the way he's crucified and the buzzards coming back, and I picture how horrific it would be. And this is the one that probably made me a Conan fan, because while he's crucified, he's still spitting at him. And the birds come to get him, and he does not give in. He kills them. So when the movie came out in 1982, and they had that scene in it, I about fell down because I felt like I was like, you know, they got it. And of course, Marvel Treasury Edition number 19 out of, and of course he's fighting a giant ape, so you know, who couldn't get that. Alright guys, that was today's flea market haul. Thanks for hanging in there.